بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Who's memorizing?
I mean, do you want to start memorizing? We'll memorize.
No. Alright. Now first, let's save the energy for the Quran and the daily Hadith, inshallah. Then after we finish the daily Hadith and do Bulugh Maram, save the energy for that, inshallah.
After that, you're Salihin.
Yeah. Well, it's better, like, after daily Hadith, we start on Bulugh Maram. Because Bulugh Maram is the Hadith al-Ahkam. There's things that you can act on. And a lot of the Hadith that you see in daily Hadith, they're in Riyadh al-Salihin. They're from Riyadh al-Salihin. So you get a good portion of the Hadith from Riyadh al-Salihin. Bulugh Maram is very important because that's what you need. Pray, to fast, and give zakat, and do hajj, and all the actions that we have to do as Muslims. So everybody should try to study that and memorize that in the beginning. Alright, so قال الإمام أبو عبد الله محمد بن إسماعيل بن إبراهيم البخاري باب بر الأب. So now first he started off with the bab bir al-um, and we talked about that, and we said that the reason behind that is because he started with the mother, because obviously she's weaker. She has more rights because of the weakness, and that she's going to need more assistance than the father. So now, inshallah, now he goes off into the third chapter where he says, Bab bir al-ab, and now he's going to talk about the rights of the father, which is basically the same ahadith that we've taken, but he's going to bring them with different chains and narration, because this is what Bukhari does. Instead of just repeating the same hadith the way it exactly was, he'll bring it with a different chain of narration, and different, so it's not the exact same hadith. All right. And even if it's the same wording, but it's a different sahabi, is it one hadith or is it two hadiths?
If it's two sahabis narrating it, but it's same hadith?
Same wording, same exact wording.
One hadith.
No, it's two hadiths, because it's different sahabis. Different sahabis. But if it's one narrator with different chains of narration.
Might be some questions out of this, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, you see something outside, I don't know.
I heard funny.
No, you said you had some questions to ask.
Oh.
So I think he went to put his food away.
He went to what?
Put his food away. It's Chipotle.
Oh, it's Chipotle. But yeah, it says it's one narrator with different chains of narration, and it's one hadith. But if it's different sahabi, then it's two different hadiths. So here we see Bab Bir al-Ab. حدثنا سليمان بن حرب قال حدثنا وهيب بن خالد عن ابن شبرمة قال سمعت أبا زرعة عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قيل يا رسول الله من أبر؟ قال أمك. قال ثم من؟ قال أمك. قال ثم من؟ قال أمك. قال ثم من؟ قال أباك. So this is the same hadith as you see. It's a different narration, but it's also a different sahabi. So, all right, so it's a different hadith completely. Because this one's narrated by Abu Hurairah, but it's the same type of wording, right? So he said, in this hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah, he said, it was said to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man abar." So who do I give my, who do I give my righteous treatment or good treatment to? Allah, he said, your mother. He said, then after her, who? He said, then your mother. And he said, who? He said, your mother. And then he said, who? And he said, your father. All right, so after 3 times, then he said the father. So he brought this hadith to show what?
Mother, paradise is under the feet of your mother.
What?
So you were busy with the Chipotle when we were discussing the bed.
No,
Before you say something, remember the chapter heading. What is the chapter heading? Bir al-Ab. So what is the connection now with this hadith to the chapter heading? The chapter heading is about Bir al-Ab. It's about righteousness to the father. And we're not talking about the mother, we're not focusing on the mother because we focus on the mother in the bab, bir Alright, so what are you going to say now? No, see, that's what I was saying, focus on,
I was gonna say is right after the mother is the father.
yeah, so as soon as the mother has obtained her rights, then the father is the next in line for his rights, so the father. The next hadith, حدثنا بشر بن محمد قال أخبرنا عبد الله قال أخبرنا يحيى بن أيوب قال حدثنا أبو زرعة عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أتى رجل نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال ما تأمرني فقال بر أمك ثم عاد فقال بر, and this is بر here is what? What type of word is this? No, not that. I'm saying, is it a fi'l, is it an ism, is it a fi'l, amr, fi'l, amr. He's commanding birra ummak. Birra ummak. And that's why ummak here is mansub, because it's maf'ulun bi. So he's commanding him birra ummak. ثم عاد فقال birra ummak. ثم عاد فقال birra ummak. ثم عاد الرابعة فقال birra abak. Alright, so it's an Abi Hurairah, so he mentioned the same hadith. He said, a man came to the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, what do you command me? What do you command me to do? فقال بر أمك. Be right, be righteous in your behavior with your mother. And then he repeated, and he said the same thing again, بر أمك. And then he repeated, and then he said the same thing again, بر أمك. ثم عاد رابعة فقال بر أباك. Why is it أباك and not أبوك? You don't know.
I don't know.
So you better know.
But I did learn Mufrad is mansub. That's what I learned.
He asked for the class in Arabic grammar, so we started the class after Fajr, because we take the class in Bukhari, in the Mukhtasar al-Bukhari, after Fajr. So he wanted the class in At-Tuhfat al-Wasabiyah, so we started it today. So now all the questions that pertain to Arabic grammar, guess who's going to take them? Exactly.
So,
Enjoy.
welcome,
My
Masood.
first day. My first day on the
Welcome,
job.
Masood.
Yeah, it's mansub, but why?
I told you.
Alright, so we told you that the builder is a fi'l amr. Alright, and aba is mansub, بكونه مفعول به. So it's مفعول به, but why is it aba? Why? No, because it's from the Asma' al-Khamsa. And the Asma' al-Khamsa, the i'rab is rafa' bil-waw, wa nasb bil-alaf, wal-jar bil-ya'. So you say, جاء أبوك, ورأيت أباك, ومررت بأبيك. Alright, so if it's marfu', so here, جاء أبوك. So أبوك, you would say, Abu is the fa'il, marfu'. أبوك, yeah, it has to be مضاف إليه.
أبوك is فاعل.
فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الواو نيابة عن الضمة لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة. So it's الواو نيابة عن الضمة. Because the asl of the i'rab of a rafa' is what? A dhamma. So this is what you call a niyaba. And if you say رأيت أباك, so أبا here is مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الألف نيابة عن الفتحة. And if you say مررت بأبيك, then أبي here is مجرور ب what? بالحرف جر الباء, yeah. وعلامة جره الياء نيابة عن الكسرة. So this is بر أباك. أبا here is مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الألف نيابة عن الفتحة والأباء مضاف والكاف ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح في محل الجر بمحل الكسر في يعني مضاف إليه.
So we know it's mansub because the alif. So if the alif comes before the ضمير متصل, it's a fatha, right?
No, there's niyaba for the nasb. There's khamsa.
Can you go slowly?
We're gonna take all that, and then I'm just getting your brain going in that right now. So I'm almost done. You're gonna get a lot of it because you're the one that got the class. Now I remember like when when Sheikh Al-Amin, when I think it was when he was teaching Al-Arba'in An-Nawawiyya, and so before he had taught Al-Arba'in, he had taught the Risala and Al-Balagha. So in one of the explanations of Al-Arba'in, you can start to see him because he taught them in Balagha. So what did he start to ask them? He started looking at the Hadith and started taking out all the different examples that they had studied in Balagha, started asking them those questions, to get their mind going in the science that they had just studied. So it's something that if I don't ask you, you're not going to think about it. So now, since you're studying now, you have to start getting these questions so you can start thinking about it. Even though you're not going to be able to answer them now, but it will get your mind going. And inshallah, then you start to pay attention to it when you study it, inshallah. And then when you study it, then you say, oh, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. All right. So he said, Bir Adab. So here's the same thing. So the shahid of the hadith and the connection to the bab, to the chapter heading, is that what? The mother has the rights, but the father is the next in line. So once you have fulfilled all the rights of the mother, then you go and you fulfill the rights that the father has over you. All right. So normally I said that we're only going to take one chapter, but because we've already taken these hadiths, and this hadith is also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the same.
The second hadith.
This one's different.
The second hadith, I don't have it in my chapter.
What's that?
The second hadith is not there in mine. Maybe like yours.
Maybe.
It's absent.
Check and see if you got your. Let me see the cover of it. You got the chains and narrations in the book too, or no?
To the most, it's like Ibn Abbas
You don't got the chains and narration.
Not like the full chain, no.
No, that's probably what you got. Check the back of the book, because in some of those copies they took all the ahadith dha'ifa, the narrations that were weak, and they put them in the back of the book and they separated them. That's why it's called Sahih al-Adab al-Mufrad.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, they separated them. So what happened was the Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, when he did the tahqiq for these books, because this is the one that he did himself. It's not like, because a lot of these tahqiqs, they say that Shaykh al-Albani, what they did is they use like silsilat al-sahiha and silsilat al-da'ifa, and they go and they do the tahqiq of the book using Shaykh al-Albani's books. But this book, Shaykh al-Albani actually did it. Check the back of the book.
Yeah, they're in the back, like it says, like da'if.
Yeah, so they put all the hadith of da'if in the end of the book. So if you're missing one, then that means that chain is weak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because, it's mukhtalafun fi, but check it. It's hadith number 6.
So I'll just look for hadith 6 in the back?
Yeah. So you see after that, go out, is it after that or? So you see that table of contents that you just saw? Yes, after that. See that table of contents that you have right there is a table of contents for all the hadiths. No, that's the second table of contents. So look for it there. You see where you're at now? Find hadith number 6.
Oh, this one?
It's going to be the hadith of Abi Hurairah. أتى رجل نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال ما تأمرني. There's an ikhtilaf in the hadith as far as the chain. This chain of narration is a lot weaker than the other ones. And if you go back and you see, you have Yahya ibn Ayyub. And he's the one, he's Yahya ibn Ayyub ibn Abi Zur'a. So he's the one that ikhtilaf as far as whether or not he's accepted or not, so.
This one, right?
Is that the first, that's the first table of contents or the second one?
This is the first.
No, you want that, let me see. Just save the page that you're on.
I already have the book one.
This is the old school, man. I had this one in the match. This copy, I had this 20 years ago, man.
Oh, the same one?
Yeah. These are the hadith that are dying. But it doesn't mention it here.
This was the first book I ever bought when I...
No, it doesn't. See, hadith number 7. So the one that we're going to take right now, this one, it has it back here. ضعيف الإسناد سعيد مجهول. You see حدثنا حجاج قال حدثنا حماد ابن سلمة عن سليمان التيمي عن سعيد القيسي. سعيد القيسي is weak. So, but no, it's not this. You see where it says right here 1, 7, 2, 12. 12 is the number that would be over here. 7 is the number that it would be over here, but it's the first hadith here, but it's the seventh. No, it's the seventh hadith over here. So you just look it up like that, wherever number it is. So
what does 1 represent in 2?
see here you see like 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and then 6 out of 8. So this is the 6th hadith right here. Alright, but now it's actually the 8th. But it's the 6th here, but it's the 8th hadith. Why? Because 2 of the hadiths skipped. But here, because there's a ikhtilaf as far as this hadith, the chain of narration, so they didn't put it here and they didn't put it here. They just dropped it completely out of the book. Well, actually, because like I said, this is Shaykh al-Albani did this. This is, you see that, the qalam? This is actually the actual tahqiq of Shaykh al-Albani. Rahimahullah. So he did this to make it easy for the people to memorize. So that way they can, he dropped out the chains of narrations and he put all the authentic hadiths that he saw as being authentic in the beginning of the book. Knocked out the takrar, the repetition and repetition, he knocked that out, and then bam. So now you can just memorize it. So he made it so you can memorize it. And then he put all the hadith of the weak hadiths in the end, so you can be familiar with them and know them, or memorize them if you want to memorize them, you know, because there's nothing wrong with memorizing hadith that are da'if, but just to know that they're da'if. So if somebody posts them, you know. But yeah. So it's nice what he did, but this is not the book this is what you want to memorize from, this is not what you want to study from. So when you study these types of books, you don't want to change the narration knocked out. You want to change the narration in there, you know. That's very, very, very important. Alright, so the second, fourth chapter is Bab birr walidehi wa in zalama. So this chapter is what? Being righteous, you know, showing righteousness and good behavior to the parents, even if they are oppressive and they oppress you. Alright? And that's regardless. I mean, because if you look at the rights of the parents over the person, and it's the same rights as anybody that's in authority. So the ruler of a country and the rights of a parent, very, very, very what? Very similar. Because, you know, if you look at the hadith about the obedience to the Muslim ruler, and you look at the hadith to the obedience to the parents, what? Obedience to them is wajib, except for what? Yeah, they command you to do something that's disobedience. Now the Khawarij, when they're dealing, see, they're the ones that separate it, because the Khawarij, when they're dealing with the Wali al-Amr, when they're dealing with the Muslim leaders, they say if they command us to do something haram, what? No, yeah, well, they take away all obedience to them, not the obedience in that thing. So then you ask them, okay, would you do the same thing for your parents? You know, so if your parents tell you to do something that's haram, does that mean that you don't obey your parents ever again and you make takfir of them? And they say, no, but it's the same thing, because the issue about them is what? Authority. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said about obedience to the ruler, to an oppressive ruler, is it still wajib or no? Still wajib. And even your parents, if they're being oppressive, they're not feeding you, or they're not giving, you know, they're giving you what you need to live your life, like clothes and things like this, and, you know, or they're just being very oppressive, they're just trying to block you from going to the masjid, and they're trying to block you from doing type of khair, you know, and they're not supporting you in anything that's good, and they're trying to block you from doing something good. Is that oppressive or not oppressive? Of course. Does that mean that we stop obeying our parents? No, the obedience to them is still obligatory. Still obligatory. So you continue to remain patient, and in obedience to your parents, because your obedience to the parents here is not just obedience to your parents for the sake of being your parents. It's obedience to who? Allah. It's obedience to Allah, because you're following the commands of Allah by being obedient to them. So here, the hadith, so bab birr walidehi wa in zalama. حدثنا حجاج قال حدثنا حماد هو ابن سلمة عن سليمان التيمي And Sa'id al-Qaysi, and what do we say about Sa'id al-Qaysi?
Weak.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's mashhur. They say in Tahqiq, Sa'id al-Qaysi. See what the Shaykh al-Albani said, rahimahullah, in the last part of the book.
Well, the thing is, like the fourth chapter, it says Bab Lin al-Kalam li-walidayhi.
Yeah, because he dropped this chapter out. Because it's the only hadith in this chapter. And it's weak, so he just put it in the back of the book. So you got to read from the back of the book. Yeah. You finished the Pepsi? Or are you trying to finish it right now? So this is your, no. This is your Red Bull or C4 substitute. For now.
The syrup is gonna kill the liver.
Man, leave the man alone. You already got him to give up his energy drinks, and now you're trying to tell him stop drinking his Pepsi now. Allah musta'an. Next thing you know, you're going to tell him to stop breathing. Come on, just leave. Enjoy your Pepsi, man. Say Bismillah and drink, you know.
Oh, there it is. That bit already, yeah, when Balam.
I told you it is. What do you say? Look down at the bottom of the hadith. It says da'if. What is it?
Well, Sa'id Majhul.
Majhul. Okay, khalas. Yeah.
Yes.
So Sa'id al-Qaysi, Majhul. No, that's it. Yeah. All right. And Ibn Abbas, when do you say, we talked about this before, but what does Majhul mean?
Like he's unknown.
Yeah, all right. The state, as far as narrating hadith, he's not unknown. They know who he is, but they don't know his status as far as accepting or not, or rejecting his narration. So his hal, as far as a narrator of hadith, is what? Is unknown. But it's not that he's unknown. I mean, they know who he is, obviously, because if you open up the books of Rijal, you're going to find a biography of him. You're going to find something about him. So obviously they knew who he was. But they don't know his state as far as like his, he wasn't known to be a person of hadith, a person that people go to. So because he's majhul, they don't accept the hadith from him. They go and you have to have shawahid. That means you have to have another hadith that's authentic that can support what he narrated. If he's the only one that narrated this hadith and he's unknown, then what?
We don't accept it.
We don't accept it.
So,
Khalas.
as far as someone who's majhul, but he's like someone of righteousness, you say like maybe
It doesn't matter. He could be praying in the masjid all day long. But if he's not known as, as far as his ability to narrate hadith correctly and in a manner that's correct, then khalas, his hadith is not accepted. He's a good person, people, he's a righteous person. He's got, inshallah, there's rewards with Allah. But as far as his hadith, that's something completely different. He could be a person that fasts the Dawood and prays every salat in the masjid and prays all night long and reads the Quran every 3 days. But if he's not known for being a person of, his narration is accepted and people don't know who he is, his hadith is not accepted. That's that, so they're very, very stringent about this, and alhamdulillah, that's a good thing. And that's why when these kuffar, they run around and they talk about, how do you know? How do you know if this hadith is authentic? How do you know? Like, shut up, man. You go back to your Starbucks and, and your Netflix and get out, let grown men handle grown men's business. Because the knowledge, the Amal Hadith is what? It's Amal Rijal. And that's what Ibn Salah, he mentioned that in his Muqaddimah. So these are, this is a science for only the strongest of men. The strongest of men, that have reached the highest level of manhood is the knowledge of hadith, because it's you can't have, you can't show mercy in this. You can't, because you might narrate a hadith from your father. But your father, no, I'm not saying you, I'm saying an actual narrator from the hadith. But the thing is that then you find out that your father's weak. Now, what are you going to do?
You have to warn out against
You got to warn against it. You can look, I love my father, but don't take hadith from him. Or maybe your son, he keeps making mistakes in the hadith, and because you taught him, you sat down and you memorized with him, and you saw the mistakes that he was making, and you say, no, don't take hadith from my son. And you see this even from amongst the ulama. I mean, look at Fairuz al-Abadi, the Sahib al-Khamus al-Muhit. Look at his son. His son was a la'ab, like a fawdawi. And when his father died, this is why we have the Qamus al-Muhit now, because of his son. His son sold all of his books when he died, because all of his books were handwritten. So Feroz al-Abadi, he had actually prepared the Qamus al-Muhit, but nobody knew about it. So a guy came to the house and knocked on the door and said, "Do you have any books of your father left to sell?" He said, "I only have one more book left." And because the book, back in those days, they didn't put the nukat on the letters. So you just have, you wouldn't know what it is unless you know what it is. So al-bad would just be this. There wouldn't be a nukta. There wouldn't be a fat or a qaf. It'd just be a loop. And you just have to know. So when he read the book is al-Qamus al-Muhit. His son said, "I only have one more book left, and it's called al-Fanus al-Mukhayyat." Because he couldn't read it. He was so, Allah didn't bless the boy with intelligence. He said, al-Fanus al-Mukhayyat. Al-Fanus is like a lamp, al-Mukhayyat. So he said, al-Fanus al-Mukhayyat. That's what I'm saying. It means nothing. It's so stupid. So when the guy took the book and looked at it, he was like, He knew immediately what the book was. He said, "I'll take it." And then that's that's why we have the book today. Because otherwise his son would have destroyed it. He had no idea what the book was. But the guy who grabbed it, he looked at it, he said, "You have no idea what this book is, do you?" And that's the Qamus al-Muhit.
So the guy that took it right and knew what it was, is it because of his deep understanding in the Arabic language, or?
No, he was a student of knowledge. And he was also a student, he knew his father in his lifetime. So he took it and he didn't, and that's why the Feroz al-Abadi, his name is on the book today, because that guy, he knew when he made sure that book got out to the people. So he took it out and the people started writing it by hand, so it spread. And then now, alhamdulillah, we still have this dictionary today. Well, just imagine, this al-Fanus al-Mukhayyat. Well, there you go. There you go. So Feroz al-Abadi was there and he was narrating and he would say, "Don't take knowledge from my son. He can't even read, Can't even read properly." So yeah. Alright, so he says Sa'id al-Qaisi. So we said he's Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah said he's majhul. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال ما من مسلم له والدان مسلمان يصبح إليهما محتسبا إلا فتح الله له بابين يعني من الجنة وإن كان واحدا فواحد وإن أغضب أحدهما لم يرضى الله عنه حتى يرضى عنه قيل وإن ظلماه قال وإن ظلماه. So here it said Ibn Abbas, he narrated, he said, and this is from Ibn Abbas, a statement from Ibn Abbas. He said, "There is not a Muslim that has two parents, Muslimani, two Muslim parents, and he, goes into the early morning, into the day, muhtasiban, and yusbihu ilayhima muhtasiban." Muhtasiban means what?
Like hoping?
Hoping with the reward for any good that you do to them. Yeah, iman wa ihtisaban, yeah. And in another narration, like in another nuskha of the hadith, it said that it's not muhtasiban, it's asbaha yusbihu ilayhima muhsinan. What did the Shaykh al-Albani narrate here? Muhtasiban? Yeah, okay. So muhtasiban al-ajr. If he goes into the morning, muhtasiban, and he's seeking the reward with Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fataha Allahu lahu babain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens two doors for him. Yani min al-jannah. Meaning from the Jannah. The two doors will open for him. When kana wahidan fa wahid. And if only one of his parents is still alive, then only one door will open for him. When aghdaba ahaduhuma. And if he were to make one of them angry, lam yarada Allahu anhu hatta yarada anhu. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be pleased with him until whoever he made angry from his parents is pleased with him. قِيلَ وَإِنْ ظَلَمَاهُ. And then the people asked him, they said, what about if they were to oppress him? They said, and وَقَالَ وَإِنْ ظَلَمَاهُ. So the hadith itself, as far as the chain of narration, is not authentic. But if you look at the different narrations that we took, what?
The meaning.
The meaning is correct, because we have the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, رضا رب في رضا ولد في رضا الوالد وسخط الله في إيش؟ في سخط الوالد. I think it's like the second hadith. Look at it.
رضا ربي في الوالد وسخط الرب في سخط الوالد.
Yeah.
حسن موقوف.
Yeah. So actually, it's Hassan Mawquf because he brought it Mawquf, but yeah, like you mentioned that before, that the hadith, the chain of narration, there is a chain that's metaphoric, and it is sahih.
So it's safe to say this hadith is from the Prophet ﷺ, he actually said it?
Yeah, because there is a chain of narration, but Bukhari, he brought it Mawquf in Adab al-Mufrad, but there is another chain of narration, and maybe he just didn't come across that chain, or maybe he saw something in the chain that he didn't like, and he thought that the Mawquf was more authentic. Who knows? Who knows what the hikmah was behind it? But yeah, there is a chain of narration that is metaphoric.
So it's obvious, but I thought the answer is obvious. So Imam al-Bukhari, rahmatullahi alayhi, when he was compiling this book, he knew that some ahadith in it would be weak.
Yes. Because he didn't stipulate this book to be sahih. He only stipulated it as a compilation of hadith about matters. Because even the hadith that you see, that you're going to see, like this hadith, is da'if. This narration of Ibn Abbas is da'if. But do we still benefit from it?
Yes.
The meaning is still correct, so there's still a benefit. So he's not going to bring something that's da'if and goes against, qawaid of the deen, So even if something like, you see like Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah, he brought a hadith in his Arba'in and in Riyadh al-Salihin that are not authentic. For an example of a hadith that he brought in the Arba'in that is not authentic is ازهد فيما عند الناس ازهد في الدنيا يحبك الله ازهد فيما عند الناس يحبك الناس. This hadith is not authentic, but is it true? Does it go against anything from the understanding of this deen? So if you look at, like, in reality, ازهد في الدنيا يحبك الله. Now obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his love for you is through obedience, not just zuhd, not just giving up things from the dunya, but you're giving up the things of the dunya because of what? But that's the understanding of what zuhd means in the Arabic. Now, this is the zuhd in the deen, is that you're giving up something in the dunya so that what? That has no benefit in the akhirah. So anything that doesn't benefit you in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you give it up. And that's the true understanding of the zuhd from Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Not the zuhd of the Sufiya and the zuhd of all these firaq al-dala. But the real understanding of zuhd is that you give up in this life whatever does not benefit you in the next life. So whatever that is, it could be something that's halal, that's mubah. Like, for example, Imam al-Nawawi, I've mentioned this before, he gave up eating cucumbers. Why did he give up eating cucumbers? Well, not the cucumbers, but the khiyar. The khiyar is actually, it's like the longer cucumber that grows in the Arab world, in Sham and places like that. But not the regular cucumber, but
Big one?
Yeah, he's knocked out. He's been trying to stay up all day. He drank coffee, everything, just to make it to the masjid, but he's gone.
That is here.
Yeah. He's out. But so he gave up cucumbers for what purpose?
Because it makes him feel sleepy.
Yeah. He felt like every time that he ate them, he became lazy. He didn't want to do anything, so he gave them up. He also gave up sleeping in a bed. He used to just sleep, with his head like he was sleeping like in a corner, and just like my son is sleeping right now in the chair.
Didn't also Imam Muslim, rahimahullah, wouldn't he sometimes he would sleep awake and he'd wake up and he remember a fact that he read it, go back to sleep, he'd wake up, write a fact that, and he would do that throughout the night?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he did do it. I'm just saying I can't remember reading that.
Is it sunnah to sleep on the floor?
It's not. I mean, it's not sunnah to sleep on the
Like on your right side on the floor?
It's sunnah to sleep on your right side. But as far as sleeping on the floor, sleeping on a mattress, I mean, the Prophet ﷺ had bedding, which is not the type of beds that we have, obviously. he wasn't sleeping like the kings of Rome, you know, but he had like, there was, you know, bedding that he had, that he slept on, you know, so, but to say that it's sunnah to sleep on the floor, you have to have to live for that. But, you know, just because the Prophet ﷺ, you know, just because he slept on the floor, he slept the way that the people slept. You know, used the bedding that he had at his disposal. You know, so as far as sleeping on the right side, yeah. Mujahid.
He's snoring.
No, but the thing is,
He woke up.
because of the sound, he goes snore. Yeah, go back there. Does anybody know how to turn the live stream off now?
I think I can.
No, don't turn it off.
I know what it is.
Oh. Alright. Alright. So, you gotta look at it if there's any questions, because he's been sleeping the whole time. These people might have been asking questions.
Someone asked, will this be uploaded on YouTube?
It's on YouTube right now. No, but I mean, all the live streams that go into the live stream, if you go to any of the YouTube channels, there's a specific place for the live streams. You just type and click on the live, because you have the videos, you have the shorts, and then you have the live videos. So all of these videos are on YouTube. All right, so that's it. So here we said that for واحد فإن أغضب أحدهما لم يرضى الله عنه حتى يرضى عنه. So that you have the shahid from the hadith about the what? You know, رضا رب في رضا الوالد وسخط الرب في سخط الوالد. Right? فإن ظلماه, what's the shahid for this?
ولو أن ظلمه. Like you obey him in good even if he oppresses you.
Yeah. Alright, was there any other evidence for that?
وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا وبالوالدين إحسانا.
وإن جاهدك أن تشرك بما ليس لك بعلم فلا تطعهما. But then after that, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? فصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفة. So the obedience and the good behavior to them, even though they're trying to, you know, when jahadaka and tushrika bima laysa laka bihi, you're trying to get you to commit shirk. Is there an oppression greater than that oppression? So even after that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that said, وَصَاحِبُهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. You still carry out the, you know, the good behavior to them and righteous behavior to them, even if they're acting oppressively towards you. And this is good because, you know, it's da'wah. And it's, you know, you're trying to be on the sirat al-mustaqim. You're trying to do something, you know, you're trying to do the actions that are pleasing to Allah. Your parents, they don't want to go that route. Now, if you act disrespectful and you raise your voice with them, then they're not going to see a change in the behavior that you have. But if you're still being nice and respectful, even though they're fighting against you and they're doing this against you, and what happens sooner or later, especially the mother was always the one that gives in, you know, the sunnahs, right? You know, like the fathers are always the toughest ones to, you know, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. But if you keep doing that, at least to the point of maybe they don't accept Islam, or if they are Muslim, that they don't accept the path that you're on, but they see that what?
You're consistent.
Well, yeah, but they see the good change in you, so they'll accept it. They'll accept that's good for you. Good for you, you know, and they leave you alone eventually. Well, you might have to go through a type of fitna, but no matter how oppressive they are to you, you just have to bear it, you know, you have to bear it and be patient, you know. Some people, they get tested in different ways. Some people, they get tested with their parents, you know. There was one brother in Jacksonville, his parents, when he became Muslim, put him in a mental home for teenagers. Yeah, put him in a mental home for teenagers because they thought he was like going crazy. Talking about you're a Muslim, but then after a while, when he was persistent, he continued to practice Islam even when he was locked away in this program, you know, which is for troubled teenagers, right? So he's in this program, you know, and He was locked up in the program with one of my close friends that went to prison for murder, for life, just to show you like the type of people that he's in there with, these are troubled children. The only trouble that he was in was what? He was like, didn't use bad language, he wasn't affiliated with gangs, he wasn't a criminal, but what was his crime to his parents? Be a Muslim. But then when his parents saw that okay, this isn't a mental illness and this isn't a rebellion, like he's serious, they got him out, and then they let him go to the masjid, and then their behavior towards him changed. Because he was consistent also with his obedience to his parents, because he was real good to his mother and his father. So even to the point where like when he went and studied in Medina, and then he came back to Jacksonville, and he was even, went straight back to his parents. They accepted him. Now after that, they accepted him. But he had to go through the trials and tribulations. On the other hand, I'm in Jacksonville, I become Muslim, and my mother's just like, okay, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's like, no, you're supposed to fight against me. Everybody's going to go through different things, And some people, they have to go through that with parents that are Muslim. You're already Muslim, but now you want to practice the Sunnah. Now you want to study the Sunnah. But now, let's say that your father's like a Hanafi, or your father's Zaydi, or your father is whatever, Now, I'm mentioning these two because these are the two most difficult parents to deal with, because of if you see like most of the parents that are Hanbali, if his son studies the Sunnah, the father's like, yeah, there you go, son, he's happy. His son's not outside playing football and chasing girls in the malls, and his son's in the masjid trying to memorize Hadith. Hanbali's happy.
Pro football.
But,
I'm talking about soccer football.
But you see, like anybody, like these other madhahib, like especially like the Hanafis and the Malikis, when they see their son start to go against the madhab, oh my God, they're gonna make his life a living hell, actually. And he's gonna have to go through so much chaos, so much chaos. So it's just like everybody's tested with something different, but you have to continue to be righteous to your parents, continue to have the good behavior, continue to give them dawah. It doesn't matter what they do. They might kick you out of the house. They might. I think that's happened to you or no? There you go. So there you go. You get kicked out of the house.
It was about to happen a second time too.
Huh?
It was about to happen a second time too.
When? Recently?
Recently, yeah. It was about like.
Oh, before.
Huh?
Before I came here.
No, it was after.
Oh,
But it was nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Do you have to follow a madhab?
No.
He's gonna beat you.
Alhamdulillah said, he was giving advice. You should in the beginning, but
I mean, you don't have to. To even say that you should in the beginning. Whatever a teacher is teaching you, you follow what that teacher does. Like, so we were raised up, our tarbiyah in Yemen was a tarbiyah of hadith, and taking and understanding the masail from, because all of these madhahib, it goes back to hadith in the end. So you're taking an imam's understanding of that hadith, but the imams of this deen are not limited to 4 people. You understand? So Imam Ahmed, which is out of all of the 4 madhahib, the 2 most knowledgeable imams in hadith are Imam Ahmed and Imam Malik. Those are the 2 most knowledgeable in hadith.
Oh, Shafi'i is not more knowledgeable than Malik.
Imam Shafi'i used to go back to Imam Ahmed to know whether the hadith is authentic or not. So if you go to the Musnad of Imam Shafi'i, you'll see the difference between the Musnad of Imam Ahmed and the Musnad of Imam Shafi'i. And no doubt, I'm not taking nothing from Imam Shafi'i, he's the Imam, but when we're talking about Imam Ahmed was a person who went from country to country, from sheikh to sheikh, compiling hadith. It's not the same. You can't put them in the same bracket together, all right? So when you look at that, so you have those individuals that's what they did. They went back, they had to go back. When Imam Shafi'i was compiling a Risala, which was the first book of Usul al-Fiqh, that was compiled together. Obviously these qawaid, they existed, but they didn't exist all put together into one book. So when he put the Risala together, where was he getting this stuff from? Was he making it up? No, he's getting it from the Quran and the Sunnah. You understand? So the same thing when you read all these books like Zad al-Mustaqnar, or you read, Al-Umda fil Fiqh, Ibn Qudama, or you read any of these different matun of fiqh, or from the different madahib, what are you going to see is you're going to see masa'il. It doesn't matter. Okay, this mas'ala that you're bringing in fiqh, it has to go back to the Quran and the Sunnah. So if you don't have support, then I don't care what your sheikh says. There's no dalil for it. And then if you bring a dalil for it that's weak, again, I don't care what your opinion about the issue is, because the evidence that you have is weak. So the very, very, very first thing before you even start taking the issues out, and that's why I said, when I take the issues, when I'm, this person said this and this person said this, and Ahlul Hadith, this is their opinion. I'm going to take the opinion of Ahlul Hadith, because the first thing that they focus on is what?
Is it authentic?
Is the hadith even authentic? Before we even start talking about this hadith and that hadith and this masala and that masala and this, is the hadith that you're trying to use for evidence, is it even authentic in the first place? If it's not, then khalas. There's no, what are we talking about then, right? So you see, when a lot of the khilaf between Ashab al-Madahib and Ahl al-Hadith, it goes back to this khilaf, it goes back to what? It goes back to them using a hadith that the people of Ahl al-Hadith do not see as being authentic. So so the opinions they differ because of what they see as being authentic and what they see as this hadith is not authentic. And the evidence that they're using is not authentic. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that throughout as we go through, Bulugh al-Maram. You're going to see that as we go through the Mukhtasar of Sahih Bukhari, and all the time, like once we get into the issues of fiqh. So Imam al-Bukhari, what madhab did he follow? What was his madhab?
The madhab of Abu Bakr.
Exactly. I mean, he followed the Sunnah. He didn't have a madhab because they didn't follow madhabs. This was all put together later on, and then the people started to you gotta follow this. You gotta follow what I follow. No, I follow the Quran and the Sunnah. And like I said, our deen. If you go to Sirah Alam al-Nubala, how many imams are you going to read about in this deen before you get to the Tarjuma of Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmed, and Abu Hanifa? Wait, how many different biographies are you going to read?
Maybe at least like 250.
Thousands. You're going to read maybe, Imam al-Bukhari, I think in Sirah Alam al-Nubala is like the 13th volume. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine how many imams before them. So we're going to just take the statements of 4. And out of those 4, we're only going to take the statements of what? 1 out of those 4. Limiting our deen to 4 individuals. And understanding of 4 people is too limiting. Especially when you had, now what about Sa'id ibn Musayyib? What about the Sufyan al-Thawri, with Sufyan ibn Uyayna? What about Shu'bah? What about all these individuals? We just leave them, and we're not going to take from them because we're only going to take from, who did Imam Ahmed take from? These guys. So when he narrates these ahadith, he's narrating them through their chains of narration.
Wasn't Imam Shafi'i, wasn't he more knowledgeable in Arabic than Imam Ahmed in the Arabic language? I heard that if Imam Shafi'i...
He was definitely the Imam in the Arabic language.
I heard that if Imam Shafi'i says something in Arabic language, it's a hujjah in the lugha. And
I think he's past the time period of being hujjah in the lugha. He's past that time period. But he's definitely from the, an Emma, in the lugha. He's from the students of Imam Malik Hassan, so, yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it. So we'll stop over there. I'm going to stop. We're going to go to Bulugh al-Maram now, inshallah. So that's the end of that one. Any questions? No. And for the people, the issue with the mic, I should have addressed this in the beginning, right?
You want me to stop it?
Huh? No, keep it going. We'll just go, because we're not putting the Bulugh al-Maram up, because the brother, he's not here. He's busy, he's running around all of Fresno doing things for everybody, so He's not here to upload it to Facebook, because what we're gonna do is the Adab and Mufrad, we're gonna do it for YouTube, and then the Bulugh al-Maram, we're gonna do it, but it's not. So now this is the problem, because now it's not being uploaded to Facebook, so we'll go ahead and just do it here, so whoever wants to watch it can watch it here, inshallah. So, but as far as the mic issue, we have a mic. I don't know where my son put it, but there is a mic, but the mic doesn't work on the phones. So we have two choices, and now I'm speaking to you guys, I'm not speaking to them. All right, we have two choices, which is one is just to buy a better quality phone, and maybe you guys can give me advice too, so you know, because the problem is this. So what happens is this microphone, because there are people downstairs and there are people in the back sometimes, and this goes through the whole system. So what you're hearing is now the camera is taken from the speakers up there, not from my actual voice. And that's why the sound is not good. If I take the microphone off, you'll see that the recording is fine, there's no problem. But because it's now trying to take the sound from the speakers and not from me, that's why the sound is weak. But we tried to plug in a microphone the other day, the last class, we used the microphone. I had the microphone here, they saw it. But it didn't work, and so even the Sajid said it sounds the same, there's no change. So we had two choices, you know. One is to get a better quality phone, like an iPhone with the iPhone Pro, that's what my Mujahid was saying, because it has a 3 cameras, so the quality of the video will be better, and of course the sound and the mic will be better. Or we could get like an actual camera, and we could plug the mic into the camera, but we won't be able to live stream. You understand? So, because this is obviously the internet connection in the masjid is too weak. So we can get a camera that can connect to the internet connection, but the live stream is gonna...
There's ways if you have a laptop. That's just true.
Yeah, the laptop even, you know, you have to have a good quality laptop, because the live streaming from the laptop is horrible. It's worse than the phone. This phone is a lot better. I mean, the quality of the picture and everything is not bad. And the problem is just the microphone, because I have to use this microphone. I'm telling you, if I took this microphone, like the days that I recorded the daily hadith without, like downstairs without using the microphone, there was no issue with the recording, nothing. The voice was clear, everything was clear, you know, but it's just, I got no choice. It's here, we got people downstairs, we don't know where people are here, you know? So, like, you know, so there might be sisters, I think, behind this partition, we don't know, because we can't see them. You know, you don't know until somebody leaps, and then that's, you know, but, so yeah, so almost time. So I think the best option is just to get a better.
Before you said that, I was gonna say, we don't know if the sisters are back here. I said, now if we're in my deen.
Huh?
I said, now if we're in my deen.
Oh, no, man.
You know. You know.
He's a troublemaker, man, you see that? He's trying to cause problems, man. But, so I think that's probably the best option. The best option is just get this phone is a good quality phone. It's a nice phone, you know.
iPhone 15 Pro.
iPhone 15 Pro, give me iPhone 15 Pro money. So, alhamdulillah, so one brother actually did send the money for this specific purpose, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get an iPhone 15 Pro. How much does that cost?
Oh, more than 1,000.
1,500?
Yeah, that's too much, yeah.
For the 500 gig, 1 terabyte?
You get 2 Musnad Imam Ahmed with 1,500.
No, there's a brother, Allah Yubarak Fihi.
More storage.
Allah Yazidahu Rizqan. Allah Yubarak fi Rizqihi wa Yubarak fi Ahlihi wa Yubarak Fihi. He sent money to Sajid to give to me to fix this problem. But that's not no iPhone 15 Pro. It's not gonna be, it's not enough for that. But maybe like one of the earlier versions of the iPhone Pro, maybe 12, I think. That's what Mujahid was saying. He's like, don't get 13. I don't know, my kid has become like this technological wizard out there. I don't know this stuff, man. I don't care. I just told him, you find out what's the best thing and then let me know, inshallah. Khalas. For me, I don't care. Like, you give me that money and tell me buy it, spend it on, you know, you can spend it on books or you can get a camera. I'm getting books out there. I ain't getting no camera, you know. Seriously, you know, I'm like spending any money that comes through my hands, you know, is going. I just got a shipment today from Subul Salam, from Sibul Safwa today. Hadith al-Sabirin, the Ibn Qayyim, and the 5-volume Dar ibn Jawzi, Subul al-Salam. Just came today, right before we came to the masjid. You know, and then still got books coming. Ah, man, that's all I care about. All this technology stuff, we can keep it, man. But I mean, obviously it's for the people, and that's what he sent the money for, so we have to get it for what he sent it for. But if he gave me a choice, y'all gonna be patient with this with this camera. I'm getting Fatal Bari, or I'm just go ahead and get Sirah Alama Nubala, you know, but no, you know, obviously.
It's the same for us. I mean, we're going to be here and Charlie, we're in person.
Yeah.
More advantage than them.
Yeah, because I mean, the sound, I've listened to the videos, the sound is not that bad. It's not that bad. I don't know, did y'all check out the live streams and you go back and listen to them?
No narration.
Not the
We're in live.
What are the videos?
Yeah, we're live.
I know, but just like curiosity or something.
You can get a
Wait, but
like a separate microphone for the phone, so the quality is better.
I have a
Plug
question.
into the phone and then it's like a little fuzz.
Yeah, but
Oh, we tried to do that yesterday, the day before yesterday, but it didn't work.
because
The microphone just did not work.
So I have a question.
I told you, if I took this off right now, like, look. If you go right now, you look at the video and look at the sound, like, what time is it right now?
56 minutes.
All right, go on to 56 minutes. Go live stream it right now and listen to it now. And see how the people on there right now.
5 people.
All right, is the sound better or is the sound worse?
Oh, here we go.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Listen to it now. And see, that's loud. People on there right now.
Rewind it, Hunter?
That's
Oh,
loud.
yeah.
Sound better or is the sound worse?
See, someone said yes, it's better.
It's much better. Because this is what's making the sound mess up. This is, it's not the camera, it's not the microphone, it's not anything.
Yeah, people saying better.
Yeah. It's much better. We're getting like delayed. Like every time we're going Back to the Future. Yeah, so I know that because if I recorded it just like this, but then, oh my God, they're going to get so many complaints from downstairs,
We're technically in the future.
Yeah, now we're
Technically in the future.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The problem is not the phone. The phone, that's a good phone. Because if I had to pick out a phone, I wouldn't have picked that phone out. That was his brother Malik. He picked that out because he owns the T-Mobile shop. So Malik was like, here, I give you. No. Malik is a Syrian brother. He owns the T-Mobile shop in he runs it in Kermit. So when I was out there, he's the one that got us the phone and everything.
Speaking of Kermit, I want the Mexican
Tacos, huh?
Yeah, I want some tacos.
All right, but let's finish this first before you start thinking about tacos.
I have a question, but this is actually about the class. So, since we're talking about marriage, this is kind of like with inheritance. So let's say if a man, he's married to a woman, and that man dies, but let's say a week after he died, the woman, she gets married.
How did she get married a week after he died?
Oh no, it's haram, isn't it?
Yeah.
But let's just say like when the period comes. Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter. أربعة أشهر وعشرة.
So after that time period.
Or if she's pregnant, but there's ikhtilaf in that issue. Some of the ulama, they say, that the wada al-hamad, if she wadat, if she gives birth, then her period is over, and others say no, she has to complete the whole iddah because her husband died.
Is it possible, like, you can make, like the wife can make,
Hold on, I'll have to matter one question at a time. I'll get to you.
When the time for her, where it's permissible for her to get married comes, and she gets married, and they start to give out the inheritance share, does she still have a share in that? Because she's not his wife no more, of the dead husband.
She was his wife at the time of his death.
So the ruling doesn't change if she gets another man.
No, because it doesn't matter. The inheritance is already going to be.
Alright.
So it should have already been dealt with before she got married again, anyways. Because in all those months they couldn't get the inheritance out. So no, that doesn't change anything. What's your question?
well, is it permissible, for example, let's say, the wife Bruh.
You just asked the question.
So let's say the wife.
Don't look
Wife
at Yusuf.
I
If you
know.
want to ask a question, just get it out, but don't pay attention to
The
Yusuf.
wife made a promise to not marry after if he passes away or dies, but she went to marry someone. Would that be a punishment
She
or
made a promise to who?
the husband? No, it don't matter. So
What he said is like if a woman, if she promised her husband that like if he was to die before her, that she wouldn't marry another man. And then let's just say she does, and he's already dead. Is she sinful for that?
She shouldn't make that promise in the first place.
yeah.
You know, she shouldn't make that promise in the first place. You know, and if it was like a halaf, you know, if it's something that she said, wallahi, if you die before me, then I will not marry after you.
No,
And then the
it's not
Prophet
like-
sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
True
"Halaf
love or
bi
something,
shay,
no.
wa ra'a khayra minhu falyati true. Alladhi huwa khayr." You know. So he said that if a person he swears by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something like I won't do this, or I will do this, or I won't do this, but then he sees something that's better than that, then he should go and do that which is better. Well, you kafir an yamini, and then do the kafara for his yamin. So if maybe that's the state that she's saying that in is a time of marriage, but now she's lonely, she doesn't have a man to support her, and now, now what's she supposed to do? I mean, go get married. Khalas. If it's something that she made a halaf with, then she should, just do the kafara for the halaf. It's just a promise that she made him. She made him that promise under those circumstances. I know why she was with him. But then she saw the difficulty. No, man, she should, especially if she has children and things like that, when she needs the support and she needs help, she should do what's best for her deen, for her children, She sit there and like, my dead husband, your dead husband ain't here no more. And he can't take care of you,
I
so-
heard, but was it a hadith that said if the woman don't get married after her husband's deceased, that they will be together in Jannah?
Is that a hadith?
Or I
I
heard.
heard people on Instagram always say this, they never show any evidence.
Oh, okay.
I heard
Oh,
sure.
shit, the Instagram videos. I keep seeing these videos, people saying, oh, if you say this dua, you're gonna, inshallah, see the Prophet.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Whenever you read on Instagram, Facebook, if you say this dua, no, just I will just ignore it.
They even say on Instagram.
You
that-
want to know if it's true, go get Riyadh al-Salihin. And in the end, towards the end of Riyadh al-Salihin, Imam Nawawi, he has a whole section on al-Afkar. And go read it and see if you find that dua or you find that, if you want something like, something to say in the salat, something to say in the dua, or the Afkar, there's books for that, specific for that, not Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, no. I mean, most of these people, akhi, they post this stuff, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said, and they give some English quote. Akhi, go find that. Where is it? What book is it in? What volume of the Majmu' Fatawa is it in? Where did you get this from? They just put anything on social media, akhi. Nobody's checking that stuff, man. Nobody's checking it. So, alongside, I won't pay attention to it. You want to know what's good to say? Read Riyadh al-Salihin. Go to the chapter on the Azkar. Yeah. Alright, so we stopped on Hadith number, based on the book that I have, 964. But it's the Hadith of Abi Hurairah رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال تنكح المرأة لأربع. And in tunkah here, المرأة لأربع, this means adatan. And these are the four things that causes a man to marry a woman. It doesn't mean that these are the four things that you have to marry a woman for, but he's talking about these are the four things that are generally what attract a man to marry a woman. So these are the four things. He said, لِمَالِهَا ولحسبها ولجمالها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك. This hadith is متفق عليه مع بقية السبع. So that means that it's متفق عليه, and all of the other books of the Kutub al-Sitta and the Musnad of Imam Ahmad have all narrated this hadith. So here Abu Hurairah, he reported that the Prophet ﷺ said that as a woman is married due to for 4 reasons in general. For her money, if she comes from a wealthy family and she has inherited this wealth, and obviously a man would make a man want to marry her, maybe he's out for the money, right? That's one reason. وَلِحَسَبِهَا, that she comes from a family it's a very noble family. It's got like a strong lineage or strong status with the people. It's one of those types of families that, if you have any issues in a country, they can get things done. And anybody that's lived overseas will know the importance of getting married to a woman who has, a noble family. Because when you have to do paperwork in third world countries, and you're marrying into a family that has no status in that country, how difficult do you think the paperwork is? Very difficult. But if you have a woman who's from a strong tribe, or a family has a status in the country, they can go right to the people and say, here, sign this, and they sign it, and you got the paperwork done, finished within an hour. You don't even have to leave your living room. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go out to these different places and start dishing out money, just trying to get things done. Because, obviously, the hasabiha is definitely the woman having status and being from a noble family is one of the more reasons that you're going to see today, where the person will marry instead of marrying her, he's marrying into the family because of who they are and the status that they have. All right, وَلِجَمَالِهَا, and this is kind of one of the dumbest things to marry a woman for, believe it or not. But this is where most of the men marry the women, and this is unfortunately the reason why most of the problems in marriage happen, because the man is focusing on what?
The beauty.
The beauty. They're focusing on the looks. He's looking for a certain quality about the girl and her physical appearance. And if he doesn't find that, then he's not going to marry her. So it's either, I've seen some of the most pickiest brothers in my life, it's like subhanAllah. But, they'll never be happy until they get this certain, whatever. Something that he saw on TV when he was 15 years old, and he can't get the image out of his head, and that's what he wants to marry. And then those marriages never last. Right? They're not the greatest marriages, because most of those girls who focus on trying to beautify themselves, they're not in the kitchen cooking because they don't want to burn their hands. They don't, what I'm saying? These are the girls like, ouch, I got oil on my hand, ouch, these are not, you see those Bedouin women, man, they take the bread and stick it right into the fire, and yeah, man, they don't, no fear, man. SubhanAllah.
They look at a red onion and they have all the oil. It's sometimes that's why I wear sweaters when I'm at work.
But the problem is that, see, the guy, he wants the woman to look like some star from a TV show, but he wants her to act like his mother. So you're stupid. You want your mother, then go find your mother. I'm not saying go marry your mother, but I'm saying you want those qualities that you see, that you like, how your mother cooks and how your mother takes care of the house. Then you're gonna have to find that where you find that. You're not gonna find that from Mrs. Beauty Queen. She's not going to be cleaning the house. She's gonna want a maid. She's gonna want all these. But then they want to get married to her and then try, I can change her. Yeah, I think, listen, man.
It's like a stray cat.
Huh? Did you say a stray cat?
So much people, they tell me, and I tell them I want a woman that wears the niqab. Like, even if she doesn't accept it, I'll just marry her, and then soon, inshallah, they'll accept. I said, if she's going fighting tooth and nail now, you think they're gonna accept after the marriage? This is crazy talk.
And why would you want that type of girl anyways? If she's not doing it now, then she's not going to do it when you get married for, what is that, for Allah or for you? So you want her to do it for Allah. See, if you want a woman to be a certain way, find a woman who is already that way. You don't try to get a girl and then try to think that you're going to change her, because it's not going to work. If her parents couldn't make her that way, you're not going to make her that way. And all you're going to do is you're going to cause her psychological disorders. You're going to cause stress for you, and your kids are going to be growing up just completely out of whack, I think, because it's just like the whole household, the whole environment in the house is toxic because of what? You were superficial to begin with. Give those ideas up. You got to think about when you're marrying is what? She is the mother to your children. You don't want a woman who's stingy. You don't want a woman who's just like sitting there taking selfies on Instagram all the time, just thinking about herself. You don't want pictures of your wife all over the dunya. You understand? That's crazy, akhi. So you have to think like what you, but the thing is that this is it. Men are just stupid. Men are stupid, akhi. So he sees the girl, she's got pictures, oh, she's so beautiful, I'm going to marry her, and, I'm going to give her dawah, and man, shut up. Shut up. Stop this foolishness. You ain't giving nobody dawah. Can't even give your own family dawah. How you going to now bring a girl into the house and taking 1,000 selfies a day on Instagram, and now you're going to give her dawah? And she's got the TikTok dances and everything, man. She's going to be making Instagram... She's going to be making Instagram videos in your kitchen, while you're at work. Shut up. So if you want a righteous woman, go get a righteous woman. But don't be concerned about, how she looks. And I'm not saying that she has to be like Jabba the Hutt, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm not say like, oh, just go after the ugliest thing that you find. No, not the C4 girl.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not saying like girls with like hair on their back and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you gotta marry her. No, but I'm just saying like, she doesn't.
Do they have that saying in Florida, the torta?
No.
You heard of it? A torta is a big, fat, hairy Mexican woman that is ratchet. So we say, that's what we say, torta.
Cause like, we don't, I think right now, Florida is starting to just now get a lot more Mexicans, but before it's all Cubans and Puerto Ricans. So we didn't really, I only knew one Mexican family the whole time I was growing up in Florida. One, but a lot of Puerto Ricans. A lot of Puerto Ricans. All my neighbors and stuff there, we have Puerto Ricans, but not Mexicans, not like.
Kind of looks Puerto Rican.
He could pass, yeah.
Really?
The mustache.
He could pass.
Is it the hair or the
It's the mustache.
mustache?
Yeah, you could pass. All right. Well, he said, وَلِحَسَبِهَا وَلِجَمَالِهَا, which we said is this is what most people do, right? وَلِدِينِهَا. All right, and obviously, and the last one is for her deen. And he said, فَظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ. فَظْفَرْ here is like a dhafar. This is from ظَفِرَ يَظْفَرُ. ظَفِرَ, not ظَفَرَ. But ظَفِرَ يَظْفَرُ. It's like a fawz or حصول على شيء. So, if you want to, really be successful and you want good, فَظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ. And go for the one, for what? For the woman that has deen. If you're going to marry a woman because of her deen. تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ, it means like what? أن يكون أن يلتصق يديك بتراب من الفقر. That your hands become stuck with dirt because of poverty. But this is not, the Prophet ﷺ is not saying this to make dua against the person. This is similar to the hadith of Mu'adh, where he said, what? ثَقِلَتْكَ أُمُّكَ. May Allah, may your mother lose you. But this is like, these are statements of the Arabs that they say as, just statements, but they don't actually mean the actual wording. So here when he said taribat yadak, it doesn't mean that, if you marry a girl with a deen, that your hands are going to be stuck with dirt because of poverty. No. It's actually used to encourage the person to do what you're telling them to do. So he said, فَظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. So Taribat Yadak here, the Prophet ﷺ is saying it to encourage the people to, it's like words of encouragement, but that's not the actual meaning, but that's what it's used for. To encourage the person to focus on getting married to the girl that has deen, not for the other three reasons. Because if you marry for all these other, you marry for money, what happens when the money goes?
She goes.
Well, I mean, if she has the money and you're marrying her for the money, and now you have to stay with her, and now you're still married to her, but the money's gone, what?
You're not great.
You're not going to be happy anymore, and you're probably going to end up trying to divorce her and look for a way out, because what? You only married for the purpose of money. Money comes when it goes. So if the money goes, then collapse and whatnot, the marriage is gone. So the same thing with a girl. She marries a guy because he's rich, he's got money. So what happens now when the money goes? She's trying to find an escape route. Where's the exit, you know? So the same thing when you look at all these other things, like, okay, you marry a girl because of what? Because of the family lineage, the nobility of the family, or the family has some type of status. Hey, does that mean that you know, so what happens now when you don't need all those types of things or whatnot? Now you've lived with her for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, and now you realize that, so what? They have status. What does it mean for you? Nothing. But now you have to live with this wife that you don't really care about because you didn't even marry her for the right purposes in the first place. And then you married her for her beauty. Yeah, hey, come on, man.
She's 40.
No, man, forget 40. Forget 35. Yeah, hey, listen. You could be the most beautiful girl in the world, but she's only attracted to you because why? You don't have her. Once you get her, and you got her, and you've had her for like, whatever, a couple months, 6 months, 7 months. Now you're like, well, because you were only attracted to what? The beauty, or whatever. Well, it could be her face, it could be some physical feature that she has, whatever. Because some people, they're just, you know, whatever. You got like, some people that is like, their minds are controlled from TV. All right.
Like baboons.
But the point is that, you know, once you got her, it's not gonna, she's not going to be as you're going to start to notice things that you didn't notice before. You know, you're going to start to realize, you're going to start to notice all her faults. And you're going to, you know, you're going to start to realize that you're going to start to see all the things that you didn't see because you were only looking at what? The beauty. But now you're going to start to flip and you're going to start to focus on all the faults. And you're going to see them and they're going to be under a magnifying glass. And then what are you going to be doing? Oh, she's done. Let me go find another girl that's beautiful. And you're just going to keep jumping around with no type of stability. You're never going to be happy. Deen, when you marry for the deen, you're marrying for that's obviously the right reason. And it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah in the marriage. Puts barakah in everything. And then the kids, they get raised up with a mother who has deen. Can you think of something better for your children? You want some supermodel mom for your child. So what, your mother, you know, their mother, you know, she ends up with all boys. But she's Mrs. Beauty Queen. So she starts teaching the boys how to put on makeup.
Oh,
you know,
something.
Next thing you know, they're watching Barney and wearing rainbow t-shirts, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so, yeah, so you gotta think about it. You gotta look at the situation that you're gonna be raising the kids up in. You can look for the woman with deen. If the only woman that you find with deen is just average, she's nothing beautiful, she's not like super attractive, but I mean, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm just saying she's not like Mrs. Supermodel Mom, but okay, just be happy. Be happy because that's, if you're about the deen and you see the woman, that's what she's about, then alhamdulillah.
Weighs more than a mountain. Weighs more than a mountain. The deen and akhlaq.
Yeah, I mean, because you might, see the thing is that you see something in her that maybe there's certain things that you don't like, but because you get married for the deen, and Allah gives other things from her, you know, that you know, make other things more appealing to you that weren't appealing before. All that love in the heart anyway is controlled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not, you know, alhamdulillah. If Allah puts that love in the heart for the person, but your love is for the deen. And the people that practice the deen. So I mean, could you imagine, like, you're supposed to be a person on deen, but you marry a girl who just openly just disobeys Allah night and day. You know, putting her pictures all over the place, and you know what I'm saying, and not even being concerned, you know. So I mean, just imagine that. So how are you gonna be happy? What type of barakah is gonna be in your marriage? Oh man, just go for the girl with the deen. Go the girl that's trying to memorize the Quran, trying to learn the Sunnah. And you sit down and alhamdulillah, you sit down and you learn together. You teach her, she can teach you. You teach the kids, she teaches the kids. And alhamdulillah, that's a beautiful family. That's like a Brady bunch, right? Real Brady, like Salafi bunch, you know. That's what we want, man. You know. All right, so
You must be selfie.
I think that's it, right? We can read one more hadith. It's hadith. The next hadith, 965, because this is a short hadith. All right, so this hadith is also on Abi Hurairah رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا رفأ إنسانا إذا تزوج قال بارك الله لك وبارك عليك وجمع بينكم وفي خير. رواه أحمد والأربع وصححه والترمذي وابن خزيمة وابن حبان. رفأ, it means, here it said that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رفأ إنسانا. رفأ, it means to what? No, and yuhanni'uhu, like, you know, like you go up to greet him and he would say this to him as a form of tahniyah, you know, after his marriage. So this is like the dua that you say for the person when they get married. You go up to him and you say this to him. So you say, Barakallahu lak, wa baraka alayk, wa jama'a baynakuma fi khayrin. This is what you say to the person after he gets married. All right, after he gets married. You want to say something?
No.
Okay, you look.
I got a question. So, when it's better to have a lot of people at the marriage, is it, than to have?
As you announce it to the community, that's the
I
sunnah.
would personally wouldn't. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's a sooner to do it?
To announce the marriage.
Oh.
No, the walima you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, you announce it to the community, and the more the better, but especially.
What happens if it's like you just want to make it private or something?
No, that's not from the sunnah. As soon as you announce it and you invite the people out. I mean, but you know, it's based on your abilities, your capabilities. If the person is really, really poor and he doesn't have the means to feed a lot of people, then, you know, if nobody's going to help him out, you know, people should come to his aid and help him out so he can feed the people, so he can have the same type of walima that other people have, you know, and that's better. But if he doesn't have those means and the people aren't supporting him like that, you do whatever's in your means and your capabilities, you know. I remember even in Sardia, when the brother was getting married, he was like, look, man, I'm inviting everybody to dates and yogurt. What is he? That's all he had. He didn't have money, but you do whatever you're capable of. You know, as far as announcing it, you know, you don't try to keep things private. Announce it out to the people, and you know, you try to feed the people to the best of your means. Most of you know, you see different types of walimas overseas. You see people that have money, they invite the whole neighborhood. People that don't have money, they just kind of keep it within the family, you know. So, however, whatever capabilities you have. Any more questions? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك